Do what you can with what you have, where you are. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. The art of medicine consists of amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. He that speaks much is much mistaken. I saw a few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. A false friend and a shadow attend only while the sun shines. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them. There is no man living that can do more than he thinks he can. At 20 years of age, the will reigns. At 30, the wit. And at 40, the judgment. Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. Don't hit it at all if it is honorably possible to avoid hitting, but never hit soft. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. He that can have patience can have what he will. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. We lavish gifts upon children, but the most precious gift, our personal association, which means so much to them, we give grudgingly. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire, called conscience. There are three things extremely hard: steel, a diamond, and to know oneself. In this world, nothing could be said to be certain, except death and taxes. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. What more valuable than gold? Diamonds. Than diamonds? Virtue. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. I'm an old man, and I have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. To be busy is man's only happiness. It is the little conveniences that make the real comfort of life. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. There are 869 different forms of lying, but only one of them has been squarely forbidden. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. When in doubt, tell the truth. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. Whatever a man's age, he can reduce it by several years by putting a bright-colored flower in his buttonhole. The man who was a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. It is a wise child that knows its own father, and an unusual one that unreservedly approves of him. Grief can take care of itself, but to get the full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Better a broken promise than none at all. What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others in the world remains and is immortal. Circumstances make man, not man circumstances. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Actions are the seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Let us live so that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. I would rather obey a fine lion, much stronger than myself, than 200 rats of my own species. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Right injuries in dust, benefits in marble. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. When you're finished changing, you're finished. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you, too, can become great. Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? The truth must be served like a coat, and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools. They don't have brains enough to be honest. Never argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. Man will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He is sure to find an easy way of doing it. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged have all their 5 senses in the keeping of their wits. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Think how difficult it is to change yourself, and you will understand how insignificant your opportunities are to change others. It is enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Our labor preserves us from three great evils: weariness, vice, and want. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, "Certainly I can." Then get busy and find out how to do it. The reason so many people never get anywhere in life is because when opportunity knocks, they are out in the backyard looking for four-leaf clovers. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Buy land. They're not making it anymore. Always acknowledge fault frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults.